Dr. Ann Herzog.
Present.
Heidi Kelly.
Present.
Ken Knelly, I know is here. Sandra Rizak.
I'm here. I want to point out Jim Coffey is on the attendee list, but not the panelist list. So he's here, but not
he
here.
is here. He is here. Okay. Thank you. Michelle.
There he is.
Michelle Toth.
Present.
Josie La Rochelle.
Here.
And Heather Haskins.
Here.
Thank you.
Is there any way to move Mr. Coffey to the panelist mode off of the attendee so he can participate?
Yes, he's being promoted now.
Okay, good. Okay. The next thing, I don't believe we have a quorum, do we, Sharice?
So with Marty, we would have 5. Without, there are 4.
Okay, so we can't approve the minutes. We can't approve the agenda. So I guess we go on to public comment.
Yes.
Anybody? Okay, and then I'll turn it over to Dr. Agnetti for his report.
Excellent. Thank you, Heidi. And thank you, James. I know you're there. I can't see you just yet, but appreciate you being present. And also, as I move my screen here, to Dan for joining us, and for everyone else too. So I'll give a report that I hope won't take too long, but I think it's going to be helpful for the College Council to know where we are at this point in the semester. So again, it's just wish you all a good afternoon. It's certainly a pleasure to provide you my report. The first thing I want to do is highlight the continued success we've had in health and safety concerns that's really dominated the calendar for the past 2 years, and that's that dreaded COVID-19. The good news is that the campus case count remains very low, and I think it's a testament to the efficacy of our vaccinations, and we are highly vaccinated on campus. We've had active case counts that are really limited to the single digits nearly all semester long among faculty and staff and students. And as a contrast, Dr. Camello reports that the health department says we had 72 cases over the weekend of COVID here in Clinton County. So campus is doing really well. And with the improvement in these case numbers, if you're a fully vaccinated student, you don't need to wear your face mask inside the residence hall unless you're attending a program or any large gathering such as a floor meeting. However, if you're unvaccinated or you have an exemption to vaccination, or in the process of becoming fully vaccinated, you'll still need to wear your mask full-time within the residence halls. We are continuing to monitor local conditions, and at this time, we do not plan to make any changes to our indoor masking or face covering requirements for the duration of the semester. And as I've done in many other meetings, I always need to stop and say thank you to our faculty, to our staff, and the many community members and partners who truly enable us to serve our students and help them achieve the education that they're here to earn. Next thing I want to touch upon is the actions that have occurred in the wake of a student traffic stop that occurred in late October and has drawn attention both on campus and in local and in social media circles. My first email to campus and that of the police chief Rasco was shared to the council members at that time. We've also released the public and campus copies of the police report and the dash cam video. And if you recall, there was a shorter video that was released by the parent of the driver of the vehicle that came out on the Friday, the 22nd of October. So at this point, we have heard from students, from faculty and staff with concerns about the traffic stop was handled and about the overarching experiences of feeling unsupported across our campus and in the wider community. And these have been poignantly expressed to me during a campus speak out session that we held last week. We've also heard from the community members and police agencies who have expressed concerns about being unfairly criticized for doing their job. So here's what I know. These stories are are very powerful evidence that we need to work harder to build an inclusive campus community. This work will require deep reflection, thoughtful consideration, and careful planning to make meaningful change. And I look forward to leveraging my leadership team and other administrators to rise to face this ongoing deep work to achieve racial healing and reconciliation. And I would just simply say that many are seeking change, and it will only happen when we work together. On the topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion, as I shared with you in the campus, Dr. Michelle Cromwell has been named the inaugural Vice President of Inclusive Excellence and Belonging at the Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine and Health Sciences in Tempe, Arizona. Michelle's final day on campus will be Friday, December the 17th. And I know that Michelle will join us a little bit later, but I just want to acknowledge that this will be Michelle's final meeting with the College Council. Over the past 2 years, Dr. Cromwell has invested in our campus. This includes our designation by the Association of American Colleges and Universities as a Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Campus Center. We intend for our campus to be an active place for conversations that can dismantle historical racial narratives and broaden our recruitment and retention of diverse, racially diverse student body, faculty, and staff. And I'm happy to report that we have the support of the SUNY system administration in this effort as we become the very first college within the SUNY to advance on this designation as a Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Center. And this will include a search for an executive director as the center begins to gather momentum. I just want to say that our commitment to and dedication to this work will continue to expand, and we will launch a national search for the Vice President, Chief Diversity Officer position, and name an interim leadership individual as we move forward to the next stage. With respect to Clinton Community College, last month we took an important step forward with our higher education neighbor, CCC. We signed with their administrator in charge, John Kowal, a new dual admissions program to help students seamlessly move from 2-year to 4-year degree programs at our respective colleges. The dual admitted student will not need to reapply in 2 years. Students progressing to SUNY Plattsburgh will not be required to pay an admissions deposit or any other application fee, and all academic records will be forwarded to SUNY Plattsburgh with no fee to the student. To support our dual admitted students, an admissions transfer advisor will be assigned to assist them while they are still enrolled at Clinton Community College. The dual admitted student must meet the admission and degree progression requirements to remain eligible to come to SUNY Plattsburgh, and certainly program-specific requirements for selected majors will apply as well. I just want to say this is an important, visible step to connect both of our colleges and the communities we serve as we continue to serve in a changing environment. Clinton is in the process of hiring its next president, with 2 candidates attending meetings on their campus this past week. With respect to Middle States, we are advancing and making great progress with our Middle States reaffirmation of accreditation self-study. A wide swath of the campus community met last month with the chair of our Middle States visit, Dr. Ron Novacek of Frostburg State University. Our work was pronounced, and I'm sure you'll be happy to hear this, in good shape, with the executive committee making changes now to reflect all of these conversations. A next stage draft will be shared to the campus community later this month, with further opportunities for the community to review the plan after that. The site visit is scheduled for April 3rd to the 6th in 2022, and the final self-study report will be complete in mid-February. I want to thank all those working so hard to contribute and add their voices to this process. It is important work, and it will make a difference as we gain our reaffirmation of accreditation next year. With respect to the Middle States and what it highlights, it's actually highlighting our move towards Plattsburgh Next. This is our next strategic plan and our important work to align our vision with our resources. The most recent draft of the strategic plan has been shared out across the campus and will be a focus of further conversations and refinement. I, along with Provost Dr. Ann Herzog and former Faculty Senate Chair Dr. Gary Kroll, have reviewed the summaries and the initial drafts. The Strategic Planning Steering Group, with representation from all divisions of campus, as well as students, have conducted 47 focus groups this past spring that involve students, faculty, employees, leadership across campus, and external community members and our alumni. Additionally, an online survey was also distributed. The committee members used the SOAR model, SOAR, which stands for Strengths, Opportunities, Aspirations, and Results, to process the information that had been collected. With this plan as a guide, we will be able to deploy some of our one-time reserves to invest up to $2 million in strategic initiatives that will help us stabilize student enrollment, move the campus forward, and help grow the campus. On the next topic everyone's interested in right now is commencement. And as we pass Thanksgiving and the end of the semester, we will hold our next commencement on Saturday, December the 18th, with events at 10 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. in the Giltz Auditorium here in Hawkins Hall. We are using the smaller venue while our Fieldhouse Gymnasium is under renovation. We are limiting seating in Giltz and will be allowing up to 2 guests per graduate. And we will be able to include college council members in the platform party. And so we'll be reaching out to you soon for this. At the December event, an honorary degree will be presented to the Honorable Glenn T. Sotheby, who is Chief United States District Court Judge of the United States District Court for the Northern District of New York. Judge Sotheby earned his bachelor's degree in speech communications at SUNY Plattsburgh in 1980. He further earned a JD at Syracuse University in 1985. At Plattsburgh, he played varsity football, basketball, and baseball. And as a student, he also played club rugby. He maintained a membership in Omicron Delta Kappa, a National Leadership Honor Society. Following his graduation, Judge Sotheby has dedicated most of his career to public service. We're very proud to present this honorary degree next month to Judge Sotheby. The last item I want to touch upon is College Council. I want to share that we've been working with SUNY and the governor's office to advance appointments to this College Council. There are currently 3 open positions and 3 expired terms. A representative of the governor's office met with me today on campus, and I'm hopeful that this will yield a full group of 10 members soon. So in closing, I want to thank each of you for your service to the college and your support on behalf of our students, our faculty, and staff. We couldn't do it without you. So thanks very much, and I pass the mic back to you, Heidi.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Dr. Agnetti?
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, James.
Okay, I do have a question regarding the traffic stop. It's somewhat of a controversial subject in Plattsburgh, as you know. And the question I have is, there seem to be 2 very distinct narratives as to what happened. Is that being looked into, or is it just going to continue as is? I think there are a number of people who want to know. It seemed there were 2 different versions of what happened, and I know I know that there's been a release on media of what the filming of it and audio and so forth. But do you think a statement from the college as to how, if the police were at fault, they should be held accountable? If that wasn't the case, I think that should be examined as well.
So James, just appreciate the question. I think it's important that, again, that it is acknowledged that there are obviously various perspectives with respect to the events that occurred that evening. What I want to say is that the work on campus is ongoing. At the moment this was realized and had occurred, our police chief made essentially a reference or a referral to an organization on campus which is called DIRECT, and it's an acronym. And DIRECT is essentially our bias response committee group, and they are working with us and evaluating. And as I indicated in my campus message on the Saturday after the event, one aspect of this goes to the HR part of our campus. Another aspect of this goes to work with student leadership on our campus. So certainly that's a work in progress. I'd also indicate that we've formed what I'll call a campus community and safety advisory committee. The membership is being formalized this week. It's designed to provide both an opportunity to policies on our campus and provide our community the opportunity for basically for our university police and our community policing feedback with respect to experiences that everyone has on our campus, but also to provide information with respect to the important role that our public safety officers play on our campus to keep our campus safe for students, for faculty, and for staff. So I say, Jim, that this is an ongoing process that we're involved with right now.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I believe Dr. Cromwell is next. I don't know if she's with us yet. No? Okay, so we'll come back to her. Josie, La Rochelle.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
Hope we're all doing well on this kind of gray and crisp, I'll call it fall day. Preview to winter. I have just a few brief update announcements for the College Council. First and foremost is our construction projects that are underway or recently completed. The most exciting one is the Memorial Hall Phase 1. So Memorial Hall Phase 1 is a very intensive mechanical upgrade for the entire building. But more importantly, is it allows us the opportunity to leverage that mechanical project and state funding for that to make significant programming and aesthetics and appeal of that building and bring it into at least the 2021 year. So the lobby of that building has completed its renovation. If you have not had an opportunity to go in there for a basketball game yet, I definitely welcome you to do that. It is quite stunning compared to what we had before. The project also includes, as we all know, the pool is no longer a part of Memorial Hall. And in its place is a recreation gym. The gym is almost finished, or at least the last time I was there, it was getting there. So it wasn't quite open yet. It will be open for spring. They're doing some fine tuning. But what it does allow us to, and the visitors, is when you walk through the lobby where the pool used to go through that metal door and to go into the pool, and there was an observation deck, right? So it takes those 2 floors, or basically the entire section and the 3 stories. So now you can, there's an observation deck, and there's beautiful glass from the lobby side, and you can look down onto this wonderful recreation gym. And then there's another observation deck is still there from where the pool was to go down into it. It's going to incorporate new locker rooms, etc., for the fitness center. And what will be part of the next phase is we were able to get everything else that we needed done in that building in phase 2. Phase 2 is currently still in the bidding process down with SUNY. We're hoping to have some activity for a new contractor to start that phase 2, hopefully in the February timeframe. And so over the winter break, the current fitness center is going to get moved. All of the equipment, or at least the majority of the equipment that can fit, is going to get moved into recently renovated space that will eventually be used for some more activity space, as well as for an athletic and training facility. So it will be our temporary fitness center while we're renovating the existing fitness center. This is a $35 million project. It's been long overdue. I'm really excited for the entire campus community to be able to see phase 1. And so it is open now. It's kind of a soft opening. So basically for the basketball games, we've been opening up that building. That's a very exciting project. Another project that President Agnetti had alluded to was the Field House Gym. And so that project is going to be kicking off shortly with some activity in there. It's going to have new bleachers. It's going to have some new doors. It's going to have some new lights. It's going to have a really, really cool new floor that will be used for track. And then the track will be filled in with artificial turf to allow for practice and other games and activities. And so that's another very exciting project that we have going on. And it helps to balance out our very unexciting project, but very necessary project called the Kehoe Masonry Project, which is really, it's protecting the building's integrity with masonry work on all four sides of the building. It does cause disruption to everyone who works in the building, and it's extremely unappealing from the outside of the building. As they're working, they have to block out the windows on the floors that they're working on or near. That project is delayed. It's going quite slow. We were supposed to have two sides of the building completed this before winter hit. At this rate, I don't know if we're going to have one side completed, but we're pushing the contractor and trying to get them to double up the shifts, and they've already started some overtime, but we still have three full floors left to go on the west side of the building. Besides our construction projects, I do have just one announcement. Our Director of Facilities and Maintenance, Bill Cercelli, he's been with us for approximately 30 years, has decided to retire. I don't know why, but he has. And he will be leaving the college at the end of this calendar year, so December 31st. We launched a search for someone else. I won't say to replace Bill because he's irreplaceable, but someone to come in and lead that unit for the college. We have found a fantastic candidate who has accepted our offer. His name is Tyson Moulton. He will be joining us on December 1st to allow for a 1-month transition period between Bill and Tyson. Tyson is currently the Executive Director of Operations and Process Improvement at Northwestern Medical Center in St. Albans, Vermont. He has been there for 7-8 years or so at this point. He was, prior to that, he worked as the Director of Facilities and a Safety Officer for the Gifford Medical Center in Vermont. He has a very extensive education items. He has a Master's of Science in Construction Management, Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies. He's participated in some Lean Six Sigma black belt courses. He also has a professional certificate in advanced project management, as well as in leadership and management. And I'm really looking forward to him starting in a couple of weeks. And so that's my report. Are there any questions? Thank you
Okay.
for your time.
Thanks, Josie. We had, some of us haven't been on campus now in a couple of years, so I'm excited to get back to campus and see all these new changes because they sound great. I understand that Marty is with us, but on the phone, and can't be a panelist when you're on the phone. You can only be an attendee. So he's listening in and I think communicating with Ken, so we can go back and approve the agenda and the minutes and get that out of the way because we have a quorum now. So I'll take a motion to approve today's agenda.
I so move.
Oh, Sid's here too. Hi,
Sid's here too. Nice.
Okay, Sid, can I have a second?
Dan Burke, second.
Dan, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? No. And we need to approve 2 sets of minutes. We'll start with the September 13th meeting minutes. I'll take a motion to approve those.
I'll
I
make
Move
so
it.
move.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay,
hi, Jim.
Mr. Coffey and Sid second. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. All opposed? Carried. And finally, the February 13th. Oh, no, we've got 3 sets. My goodness. The April 12th minutes. I'll take a motion.
Move it.
I so move.
Sid, Second,
second it.
Ann? All in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And last but not least, February 13th. I'll take a motion.
Move it, Dan.
Second, Dan.
There we go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, we took care of that business. Boy, it's been a long time since we've had a quorum. It's nice to have one today. So,
Heidi, this is Dan. Josie, real quick. I have a question for Josie real quick.
okay.
Is there any talk of any funds coming to the SUNY system, in particular Plattsburgh, through all these different legislative initiatives at the federal level that have been passed?
You know, the $1 trillion infrastructure bill is what I assume
Right.
you're referring
Yeah.
to. I have not heard anything trickling down from that perspective. I mean, everything that I'm hearing is huge infrastructure for the state of New York, bridges, roads, railways.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Thanks. Good question.
Any other questions for Josie? Okay, is Dr. Cromwell with us yet? Nope. So I think Ann, you're on.
Great. Thank you, Heidi. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see you all. So I'm going to cover two quick things related to some just quick alumni news and then some development projects that we have underway. In regards to alumni, I would just like to acknowledge that we were thrilled to have Judge Glenn Suddaby on campus last week. So President Enyede mentioned Judge Suddaby during his report. We were really happy to finally have him on campus. He had been nominated as a distinguished visiting alumnus pre-COVID. So it was a long wait. And we were very grateful to Dr. Ray Carmen for hosting Judge Suddaby and his wife, Jill, who's also an alumna. She's of the nursing program. They had a fabulous visit for 2 days, and Paul LeDuc in the alumni office organized all the details. Faith Leach has done phenomenal work with Judge Suddaby over probably a decade to bring him to the point where he was so happy to come back to his alma mater and share with students. He spent a lot of time with students that are interested in pursuing careers in law. So it was a wonderful opportunity for the students. Moving into development news, I wanted to touch on 3 or 4 of our affinity campaigns that we have going this year. And just to kind of remind everybody, why the heck we do affinity campaigns. Well, obviously, these special campaign, kind of short duration, very intense fundraising efforts are a wonderful catalyst for giving, to engaging new donors, because they're always focused on honoring much loved individuals within the Plattsburgh family. They're also a great way to reaffirm the college's institutional history and our identity, by celebrating the people that really helped create and to nurture this college into what we are today. So we see a lot of great response from these campaigns, and so you can expect that we'll always be doing them every year. So some of you are probably aware of the campaign that we just completed. It is in honor of Phoebe Sturm, and Phoebe was the college's first women's basketball coach. She was also instrumental in implementing Title IX. So that's a way of saying that she was the one that helped build the women's athletic program. And she also taught golf and fencing on campus, and has had a long, very well-known and well-regarded throughout the entire North Country, especially in the golfing area, and really a wonderful mentor to youth in the area. So we had a $25,000 target for that effort, wrapped it up very fast. Amy Gomlak was our alumna who helped to kick that campaign off, and Faith Leach was instrumental in bringing that effort together and closing it out. So it's done, and we'll be celebrating Phoebe in the spring when we have a reception of some sort in the Memorial Hall. The second campaign that is just about to kick off, we're hoping it will kick off this week, is in honor of Tom Moran. And I think everybody on this call also knows Tom very well. He's the among other things, founding director of our Institute for Ethics in Public Life, served the college for over 40 years. I think that part of the reason we're doing this campaign now, to be honest, it has never been a better time to highlight how important ethics are in public life, right? This world is going through some interesting times. We received a challenge gift of $25,000 as a seed fund for this effort, which will be to endow, have an endowment to support the Ethics Institute. Because we're having such great momentum right out of the gate, I'm looking at a $100,000 target for this endowment campaign. So probably more than double what we initially thought we'd do. So that is going to be a fun one to celebrate when it's completed. We also have a Capital District campaign that will be launching in the spring. This, for those of you, I know, Dan, you're down in that region. The endowed scholarship to support Capital District students was established 17 years ago. And this is a cool project because it was initiated at the Plattsburgh Alumni Association board level by Kim Scalzo and some other directors. That endowment has grown over time. It's approaching 200,000 in value. We've awarded 37 scholarships already. They average about $1,500 each. And they go to Albany, Rensselaer, Schenectady County students majoring in anything, first year or transfer student, and it does have a merit component. So it's kind of similar to our North Country Scholarship Program, but it's Capital District. And it's a wonderful avenue to be able to appeal directly to alumni living in that area, support students in your area. So it's we're excited to get that one kicked off. The other faculty project that we have in the spring, we've received a very special gift in honor of Mark Kaiser. And I'm sure lots of people on the call know Mark very well. He's going to be retiring in July after 40 years of instruction in the accounting department. He's one of those people that I think has served on just about every single committee that exists at the college. He's always, you can always rely on him to make the motion to adjourn when it's time to wrap up resources and planning, or maybe faculty senate. Mark, very committed to the college and also the nonprofits in the region. Served on a lot of different nonprofit boards. And interesting fact for those that you might not know, he's also served as a ski patrol at Whiteface for 40 years. And that actually blows me away. So I'm really amazed at that. But we will be doing a fundraising effort in his honor. And that program will be to support a scholarship for accounting students. And this one's going to be solely based on financial need. So it's a retention based scholarship to help students that are in the accounting program and need help to be able to complete it. So those are our fun projects for the year, and what I had to share today. I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Any questions for Anne?
And I may have missed it, but the Tom Moran Endowment, what will that be funding?
That will support the Ethics Institute in Public Life.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be a call unless I asked you. The stock market's been doing very well lately. How big is the endowment got?
It, you can't look at that every single day, right?
No, don't.
But we're approaching 30 million.
Congratulations, that's great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think Marty can hear us because I hear him. So,
Can you hear Marty?
Yes.
Marty?
Can anybody hear Marty?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
I
Okay.
don't know, but I hear him laughing. Okay, so, but I'm going to continue to sort of run the meeting, if that's okay with you, Marty, because I think you're.
That's fine. You please do.
Okay. But I'm glad you'll be here for your report. So next is Dr. Herzog.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. Good afternoon, College Council members and colleagues. Several things I'd like to share with you of interest. I want to say a couple of things specifically about the SUNY, our campus down at Queensbury. We're about to roll out what's called a turbo course this spring, which is pretty exciting. It's a non-credit bearing course, but it is a course that local professionals may be interested in to give them intensive new information about an area that is related to their professional life. And the first turbo course is going to be on supply chain management. We have signed a memorandum of agreement with SUNY Adirondack, and they're handling the enrollment and a lot of the registration information on their end, but we will be sharing the revenue from that experience, and quite excited about this turbo course as a model for other courses we might offer. Also like to share with you that in October, SUNY Plattsburgh, in conjunction with SUNY Adirondack, hosted a really extraordinary conference called North Country Climate Solutions about climate change and concern about how these changes in temperature are impacting the globe. In particular, Bill McKibben, who's probably one of the most important speakers internationally in this area, was present. And I wasn't able to go down myself, but I've heard great things about it. And we had great participation by our students and our faculty. Next fall, they're already planning this joint conference, and I think it's really interesting. They're going to focus on better mental health in relation to social media. Seems like a pretty current topic for us to be considering. I would also like to share with you that we have a Master's of Science in Teaching, the MST program, focused on childhood education and adolescent education that can now be delivered. It's been approved to be delivered via distance education. We think this is going to be a really popular program. Some institutions would refer to this as a post-bac program. So it would be people with a college degree who then would really like to get into the classroom and can do this remotely wherever they're living via our degree program. So that's exciting. In terms of the Ethics Institute, Jonathan Slater has been on sabbatical this fall, but we've had a wonderful faculty member, Interim Director Michelle Willette, who really focused the entire fall on our campus's experience with COVID. How have we been living, learning, and working during this pandemic? And she's done a lot of interesting creative things like the ethics of self-care, the ethics of dealing on or not dealing with trauma in the classroom or workplace, because we know that many of our students have been traumatized by this experience, have loss of family members who have lost jobs, and also our employees. This has been a challenging time for the entire campus. So she had these pods set up where yoga could be practiced. There were knitting pods, poetry pods, hiking in Ruger Woods, all really good examples of local opportunities we have to sustain each other. From our environmental science faculty, they hosted Ken Lagunas for a full day campus visit recently. He's an author and environmental writer of a recent book called Trespassing Across America, One Man's Epic, Never Done Before, and Sort of Illegal Hike Along the Keystone XL Pipeline. Ken Lagunas has published in the Washington Post, the Smithsonian, Backpacker, High Country News, and is a highly respected writer in the outdoor writing field. So I was really happy to know that our students and faculty and the entire campus could enjoy that visit. Also like to share with you that we had a celebration of Black Poetry Day in October. Evie Shockley, who's a faculty member, an African-American faculty member at Rutgers University, came and visited the campus. She has won a number of significant prizes, including her nomination as a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize in Poetry in 2018. She was really well received, and people are still talking about that visit, so that was quite exciting. Just this past weekend, since Thursday through Saturday, we had a wonderful fall theater production of Our Town, directed by Julia Devine. And what was really interesting about this production was her attempt to modernize it through a bilingual script and dancing and the cast. It was really quite wonderful. Lastly, from our School of Business and Economics, our business administration program has been approved for online delivery. The first cohort will begin enrolling this spring semester. We recently had a very successful internship and career fair with over 50 industry participants and over 200 Plattsburgh students in attendance. SBE is planning a cybersecurity conference scheduled for October 2022. And this May 1st to 3rd, we will have a reaccreditation visit from AASCB, which is the most competitive level of accreditation. Only 5% of business programs in the United States have this accreditation awarded to them. And we're really excited about this visit and feel confident that we will be reaccredited. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Anyone have any questions? Okay, thanks, Anne.
Heidi, I noticed that Dr. Cromwell came in. I don't know if you.
Yes, I'm going to call on her next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Cromwell, you are up.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you for having me. I apologize for being late. I was at a training. We have an equity advocate program, and I will start there. I would love to share some of the things that we're still working on. So I just came from an equity advocate training where we had 14 cross-functional community members. And I also want to say that they are multi-constituent community members. We had faculty, we had administrative assistants, we had people from the IT department, all working on this equity advocate program. And equity advocates are community members that will sit on search committees to bring the concept of equity to the search committee in a more intentional way. So today we had a training with 14 community members that they participated in that. And for the rest of this week and ending next week, Monday, we'll be having that 4-day equity advocate training series. So I'm really excited about that because these equity advocates are truly going to be the heart, the ears, and the eyes of equity on our search committees. I also want to share with you that the Inclusive Excellence Strategic Plan, which in the past I think was called the Diversity Plan, and we're calling it the Inclusive Excellence Strategic Plan, that has been completed. And that was completed with a process of about 21 folks who all sit on the President's Inclusive Excellence Council. And the members of the President's Inclusive Excellence Council is also a cross-functional and multi-constituent group that worked through 4 work streams to actually put this plan together. So I'm very excited about that. And this plan is going to be a roadmap for equity at the college. And what I can say confidently is that this plan will help to keep equity in the forefront and would provide the action steps and the implementation plan to continue the work that we have already started. I also want to share this semester that we have 2 scholarships that we will be, the word isn't coming to me, that we will be dispersing. One of them is the Douglas Scott Scholarship, and that is for students that can demonstrate that they have been doing some work towards social justice and eliminating bias. And I'm also proud to say that my colleagues in institutional advancement have also focused on students that identify as LGBTQ. So this semester, for the first time, we have the Betsy Ann Ekstrom Scholars, And those are for students that identify as LGBTQ+. And we will be dispersing those 2 scholarships this semester so that the funds will hit the students' accounts for the beginning of January. The last thing I want to share that is happening in my area is that and I think Dr. Eniadi may have shared this before I came on, we were selected as a Truth, Racial Healing and Transformation campus. So we do have a campus center. And what I want to say that I'm very excited about and encouraged is that this center, even though we haven't rolled it out formally to the institution yet, but this center has worked to serve the institution, to have dialogues, to have cross-racial dialogues when there was some tension about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the Truth, Racial Healing and Transformation Campus Center will continue to have dialogues throughout the entire semester to really bring people from cross-racial groups together, to have dialogues that can challenge narratives and that can also help to build relationships. So that's what I would like to share with you today. And I would love to entertain any questions or comments that you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Cromwell?
This is Dan. No, we thank you for your time with us and we wish you very well. Congratulations on your new position and appointment. That's great.
Thank you. I appreciate those sentiments.
It's a little warmer there than it is here.
I think the word we need to use is hotter. It is tremendously hot, but thank you.
Best of luck.
And what I want to say is that no one that I have met is never a friend. So Plattsburgh would always be in my heart and in my mind, and you will always have a friend.
Thank you. And we have enjoyed working with you. And I personally enjoyed that small snippet of the equity and inclusion training. And I'm sorry that just didn't get the opportunity to go any further, but you know, we do wish you well, and hopefully our paths will cross again sometime. Okay, there is no report, I understand, from enrollment and student success. So we will then move on to the chair's report. So Marty, are you still there?
Okay. Okay, and I don't know how many people can hear me. But
Can
the main
everybody
part
hear
of my
Marty?
report,
Yeah, I think Marty.
Everyone can hear you, Marty.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear
okay.
you.
Okay, very good. The main part of my report the report is going to focus on the future fleshing out of the college council. I'm happy to tell you that our new governor is, I'll say, hell-bent on addressing the fact that around the state of New York, colleges are in the same position that Plattsburgh is in. And she has set her cap on making sure that that situation is addressed and is addressed promptly. And just as we're seeing the activity that is being placed on looking at our situation, that's happening throughout the other campuses. But what will happen, and it will happen in the very near future, is we will see a series of appointments. They recognize that we have a number of applications that are in their hands and have been in their hands for many months, and they have received some new applications as a result of the activity that they have put in place. I've conveyed that there should be no extra effort made to concern themselves with how many members of the College Council are Democrats. In the time that I was chairman of the Democratic Party, there were a fair number of Democrats who were appointed to the College Council, but there's diversity in the representation of our College Council. There should be within our College Council, within the applications that they have, that we have submitted. There are applications where there's, if I were to be asked what's the political representation of our submissions, I wouldn't know, and that's appropriate that I wouldn't know what the representation is, because that's not what is important. And I've made those comments and passed those comments to some people who were involved in that process at the governor's level, because there's a little too much of an effort being put in place by some local political people, and that's inappropriate in my mind. So anyways, I've made it clear that the applications that we have submitted have been submitted based on the qualifications of the people, and so I'm hopeful that that will help those people's applications rise to the top. So we will know shortly. Okay, and so that's where we stand. I did not get a chance, obviously, to talk to the governor about it. That's not available when you go through that process. But I did get a chance to talk to two of the people who are working on the committee that's making recommendations to her. Okay, so that's where we are. That's where we are with that matter. Okay, and one thing that I will throw out at this point, I hope that our next meeting can be a meeting that we'll be able to have in person in the Maori conference room. I think I think that room is a large enough room that we can have distancing for the people who would be in attendance, and be able to successfully do that. So I would hope that that we're successful in being able to have our next meeting on campus.
Is that it, Marty?
With that,
Are you?
pardon?
Is that it? Is that your whole report?
That is definitely a request.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
I will say that on our agenda, it does say that our next meeting on Monday, February 14th is an in-person meeting. So I think it's in the works.
I know it is, and that was at the bottom of the agenda on our last meeting too.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll
Okay.
hope for the best. Any questions for Marty? I have a question. Marty, when you say you submitted a list, a diverse list of candidates to the governor, were you talking specifically about political diversity?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
There's, there was, within the applications that we have in there, there's sexual diversity. There's diversification of occupations, and some of the people are graduates of the school,
Okay.
alumni. Other people, there's one case that I can think of where the person is not, but
Okay,
don't have any cases where they are. There's not any applications that we've submitted that would have any racial diversification.
is it that there just weren't applications?
None of the applications
None of the, okay,
that
okay,
that we have submitted are. Yeah.
okay.
I don't know about other applications, because one of the things that does happen, and of course the governor is and the people who are working on that committee will look at, is there are applications that may get submitted from elsewhere around the state.
Mhm.
You could have someone who lives in another part of the state, but they might be an alum of Plattsburgh,
Mhm.
and they could have that interest, and they could seek that type of a position. And so they've set out to try to gain that. So, and in the course of a number of conversations, I became aware of at least one application from downstate, mid-state, that is, in the pile.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
And that's not unusual. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Dr. Annetti.
One of the things that I brought up was the fact that we have a number of, and some of you are sitting in the room. We have a number of members of the committee who are holding positions where they're in need of having their terms renewed, because we just had a governor that didn't do anything, and so we had people who were serving and they didn't have the term. They might have had an appointment made, and the appointment they served, and they came to the end of the appointment, and there was no action taken one way or the other. They weren't reappointed. There wasn't anybody appointed to take their position. They thank God, we have you long-suffering people who have continued to serve us.
Yes.
And
It has been a long time. Hopefully we
wouldn't
can
even
fill those seats.
Yeah, we wouldn't have a quorum for our meetings, and I pointed that out. That if, that we just recently got a new appointee, which will give us a chance to have a quorum at meetings.
Yes.
We've had meetings where if we have one single person who's not there, we don't have a quorum.
Well, it's good that we had one today, so we're getting there. And I think Dr. Agnetti had a comment.
Thanks, Heidi. And first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to Marty for, I'll say, making this a passion, because it is important that we have a well, I'll say, rounded out college council, just for the various reasons that you've mentioned, Marty. One piece of trivia is that I think Sal Graven's initial appointment expired in 2004. So Sal's been generously continuing to serve for 17 years on a real long extension, which is interesting in itself. But I also want to just mention that to what you said, Marty, there are names that I guess come in from all over the place. And I say that with a lot of affection to how this process works. Sometimes it's not clear where the names come from. And sometimes it's just names. And then I think that as Jim can attest to, if you're a name, then there's an arduous process that occurs. Jim, is it a 19-page application you have to go through or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's
oh, yeah. Some of us have done those.
Yes.
And we have.
It was more than I had to do, and I got a mortgage.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I think what we're hearing is there's been a change in the will to do this. There's a recognition that college councils need to be, I'll say, filled out with the appropriate number of individuals to help support the college, to help support the president's work, and certainly that of the entire faculty, staff, and students here. So I'm excited that we're making progress on this. Maybe we'll get a special New Year's present. The dust will settle.
I think we will. I think it will be within that kind of time frame.
Sure. So Marty, thank you for carrying the torch on this, and I appreciate that you refuse to let it go. So that's good. So thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. That was my promise at the last meeting.
Well, thanks, Marty. We do not have a student association report, so we'll move to campus governance. Dr. Rizak.
Hi, everyone. I don't really have anything to report except that the semester is flying by. There's 4 or 5 weeks left. It's been good to be back mostly in person. Things are, still not back to normal, but certainly it's back to the normal part where when we get down to the last 4 or 5 weeks, students are getting overwhelmed. They're dealing with things that they've been putting off. Faculty are getting overwhelmed. So in that way, it's a normal semester, even though it's not a normal semester. So that's really all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you. That was speedy. Dr. Carmen.
Thank you. I will likewise be very brief. The Faculty Senate keeps on keeping on. So we're meeting regularly, both as a body as well as an exec council, and with the president and provost. We're approving new programs, approving program revisions, approving program deactivations. We are passing new policies, hopefully, and we are passing resolutions, and yeah, everything is going well on the shared governance front. So that's all I have to report.
Thank you. I should have asked, are there any questions for either of our two governance people? Okay. I don't believe that Kim Hartshorn is here, but Michelle, are you speaking for him?
Yes, well, I officially am now Kim's replacement. There was a special election, so I am now serving as the chapter president for UUP.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of congratulations and poor you. So we'll see. No, I just would like to introduce myself. My name is Michelle Toth. I've been a librarian here at Feinberg Library since '99. I've been active in the union. For those of you who may remember, I have fellow colleagues, Patty Bentley and Karen Volkman, both librarians who have served in this role before. I think it's a rule now, a librarian has to be UP president once a decade. So I guess it's my turn. I will try to, we are transitioning with Kim till the end of the semester. The election was out of sync with the regular elections. So you may still see Kim at some of the other meetings like labor management while we work our schedules together. And hopefully starting in the spring, I will be officially full-time at all the meetings. Unfortunately, I already look at the February 14th date at 1 p.m. and I know I'll be in a classroom. So I will try to attend, but I may not for the next college council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ethel Facto is not here. What? Anybody? I thought I heard something. Okay, so any old business anyone wants to discuss? Anybody have anything else? Any new business? All right, well, I will say it was nice to see everybody. And I will take a motion to adjourn. Sid?
So moved.
Second? Oh, come on, somebody.
Second.
Jim.
Yeah, yeah. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Hi.
good. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.
Yes. Thank you all.